Welcome Virgo to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 19th of August for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. The week begins with a very potent full moon. It's in the part of your situation which is very much to do with life organisation, to do with structures, efficiencies, our approach to diet and health and fitness, and even our approach to our pets, the sixth house. The moon can give you an opportunity here to reform some parts of that situation. But on the other side of the heavens, the sun and your ruler Mercury in its retrograde are together in a cazimi on the first day. But the 12th house is a much more psychological area, whereas the position of the moon much more practical, and the two are competing. But if your focus is mainly on the practical dimension of life, it could be that something in the emotional or psychological area is a little bit out of kilter. And one of the things could be your energy. So if you're not feeling quite as energized as you would like at the start of this week, this particular full moon gives you some options, particularly with Uranus priming up the moon and also the sun and Mercury. It primes it through knowledge, but it could come in very quick and unexpected ways. For example, someone could share something with you and it could feel in a way that they're saying something to make a point, but perhaps they are. Because the Sun and Mercury in the 12th house is a very sheltered area, but it is an area that's to do with our possible anxieties or our self-limiting beliefs or thinking. And maybe this person genuinely wants to help. But for you, it may challenge your status quo in some ways. The other thing about Uranus in the 9th house is you could find yourself, after a lifetime of being very committed to assisting others, in actually wanting to break free of those obligations and commitments and have some time out. And why not? But that could also be around a relationship, because Venus in your sign has certainly been giving you an added level of glamour since the 5th of August, but it's checked right at the start of this week by the stony and cold Saturn. If things just feel inhibited around a relationship, or stuff that hasn't really been openly discussed suddenly comes up, it could be very challenging. But it's important that you don't use Mars and Jupiter in the very dominant part of your scope, the 10th house, to push back in a way which maintains your pride but stops you really confronting the issues that may require to be processed. And to be honest, it could be to do with a professional relationship or your job. Maybe the people you work with are not openly telling you how they feel, but maybe the atmosphere is not as constructive and helpful to you as it could be. But you could just feel stuck on the horns of a dilemma at the start of this week, because Saturn squares to the planet of action Mars. It also squares to your ruler Jupiter, and it also opposes Venus, which in turn angles back to Mars and Jupiter. So even if you want to do something in a very demonstrative way, somehow or another Saturn can just provide a slowing down of the energy. But that's where the arrival of the Sun in your sign on Thursday is so exciting. This will ease the logjam, and it will revive you. It will reignite the spark within you. You're going to feel more in charge. But also Venus, blocked at the start of the week by the position of Saturn, moves forwards and stretches out that opposition. Energy starts to flow. You're going to start to feel that you can take more control over things, rather than feeling rather passive in one way, or just overloaded with responsibilities or even guilt if you're feeling you want to break free of some kind of set pattern in your life. But this is where Pluto has been so powerful and potentially helpful for you since the 21st of January this year, and will be through to the 1st of September. Because Pluto's asking you to think about the way you have been very sacrificing, met commitments, been very disciplined and organised and precise for a long time. But if it's around things that are not feeding your passions, Pluto's asking you to think again. And it's the planet of consequences. So if you're in a job that maybe is paid okay, maybe is quite stable, but isn't very exciting, that's what you're being provoked to think about. So the sun moving into your sign angles sharply with Pluto. So the sun's arrival is not going to solve all of the issues, but it does give you the opportunity to become much clearer about your goals and objectives. And it may be the case that you are needing to start something fresh. And this is just a period of letting go or bringing to a close something that's come to the end of its cycle. But if you are in a situation where you do feel that your options are rather limited, don't underestimate the power that the sun can give you. And once Mercury revives and returns to your sign on the 9th of September, emerges from its shadow on the 11th, you really will be charging forwards in a much more dynamic way. Have a lovely week. And if you'd like to take advantage of my very special year 2025 personal forecast offer, you can get the rest of this year free, and also for 30% off your life roadmap report. Please see the link beneath this video. All this is based on your personal birth data. No two charts are exactly the same. It's great value and will give you searing insights to guide your moves future forwards.